What's up, y'all? Tis your boy Dreaded Don here, back again delivering you guys new games for the month of March. Man, this month we got some good titles. We got some good titles. I mean, I'm honestly not mad. Like I said, this year was already set out to be a pretty solid year for gaming in general. So that's already being in the first quarter of it. Getting ready to wrap up. You with it, January, February, then March. As soon as we wrap up March, we're going right into Q2. So with that being said, we do got some solid ones dropping out this month, so let's go ahead and hop on into it. So on March 5th, we got 3 titles all dropping simultaneously, man. And in my opinion, the least of the bunch, but the one I need to go and really get my hands on to see if it's worthy is Marathon. We got Marathon, and first-person extraction shooter coming from Bungie. In my opinion, it looks a lot like Destiny with the punches, the running, the way the gunplay is a little bit. It seems like they really just took Bungie. They took not Bungie. Bungie really just took Destiny and threw it into an extraction shooter and kind of like stepped back a little bit on in terms of the flavor or the polish that Destiny has itself. Now, the controversy that's a little bit around is it seems like they took a lot of their art from an artist that was on Twitter, which is I don't know how they went about that. I'm not 100% sure. I don't get the details on how they went about resolving that. But nonetheless, I'm hoping that they did go ahead and pay that artist and give them their credit where it's due if they're able to move forward with what the content that they have going forward, right? Now, on top of that, they are having a server slam from February 26th all the way up to March the 2nd. So about 3 days before it releases, they're trying to just push the boundaries, see what the game has to offer. I think I'm gonna hop into it myself. I'm gonna get me and the buddies gonna hop into it. We'll see what it's really about and see if it's worth its water. If not, then it's probably gonna flop. You know what I mean? It's already had a bad upbringing, but we'll have to see. If they're asking for a $60 to $80 price tag on it, I'll be honest, you guys should not move forward with that one. Probably wait till the game drops on sale. At least that's what I'll be doing. And hopefully, maybe just go like a free to play. Maybe I don't know. I'm already iffy about this one. Anyways, if you're interested in Marathon, I think the art looks amazing. I think the fact that we're getting a new extraction shooter is really cool. Has something to compete with Arc Raiders, but nonetheless, its upbringing is a little iffy, and so I'm definitely not gonna be dropping $60 on this one. But nonetheless, it drops on March the 5th. Following that one up, man, we have Dysplaced. It's essentially kind of like a sequel to Dismantled, if you ever checked that one out, which are both isometric survival games. I really enjoyed Dismantled just because the top-down version of it being a post-apocalyptic world where you come up from the bunker and then you gotta essentially fight your way off of the island that you're on. It reminds me a lot like How to Survive, but this one is a little bit more in depth because you can dismantle everything, hence the name Dismantle, and then rebuild it into various crafting objects, hence like a survival crafting game would be. Right now, this place is essentially just like its predecessor Dismantle, but instead of being in a post-apocalyptic survival setting, you're in a fantasy survival setting where you're now the fantasy hero that has to figure out why the world has gone to turmoil and solve those issues. Instead of figuring out how to escape the apocalypse, you're figuring out how to solve the fable of the big bad that's harming the world. When you're gonna be going through leveling up, you're gonna be gathering magic, taking down goblins, taking down trolls, essentially clearing the fog of war that may be in the local area, and then of course crafting a base and crafting different items all in the meanwhile. And if you enjoy a good survival crafting game, I feel like this one is a cool little chill one. You're probably able to drop like 40-50 hours in, right? And I might have to check this one out. The fact that it's dropping on March 5th, a little difficult, but nonetheless, it is dropping on March 5th. Okay, now the one I am most looking forward to on March the 5th dropping is Slay the Spire 2. It is going into early access, man. And what it looks like they're going to be adding into this second one. Now, I've talked about this before. I thought they were supposed to be going into early access 2025, but they got pushed off a little later. So now we're going into it. But what it looks like they're going to be adding is they're going to be adding so much new abilities, new events. They're adding a new character for us to play as well. Probably new bosses, new pathways, new card synergies that we're gonna be able to get into. One of the major things that really piqued my interest when I was watching the trailer and getting diving into what they had on the website is that it almost seems like either we're gonna be able to select multiple heroes to play with and use their cards at one point, all together at one point. Maybe you'll be able to choose a soldier and the rogue, along with maybe the wizard. Well, it seemed like we could just use them all, but it seemed like you could have different combinations of the characters and then use their cards at different times. Really interested to see how that unfolds. Or we're gonna be getting a co-op aspect of it where, depending on you, when you be able to co-op it with your friends, and you guys can all see the hand, and then when it's your turn, you play the cards from the hand, depending on what character you are, right? Nonetheless, this game, I'm beyond excited for. I played the hell out of Slay the Spire 1, played Monster Train. I'll play Monster Train with way more, but Slay the Spire is still excited for it nonetheless. But again, this one is dropping on March the 5th, which is already a jam-packed day, my friends. And about a week ago, no, play. About a week after we get all those games dropping on March the 5th, on March the 12th, we get Greedfall 2. Now, personally, I remember playing the first Greedfall, and the story and the world that they were trying to set up is what really piqued my interest in it. But I could never get hooked thoroughly into the game just because I was never connected with the combat, nor was I never ever connected with my companions that they were trying to offer me. But nonetheless, the world setting in and of itself was really interesting. It's one of the ones that I was like, man, I wish I could go back and visit. It's kind of like a revolutionary tale where they go and visit this mystical island, but in the same sense, they're kind of colonizing that. They're kind of colonizing that bitch like no other, you know. And because they're doing that, the islanders are essentially kind of pushing back. And Greedfall picks up that same story where it's 3 years before that event happens, and within that event happening, you kind of set up the piece to see what's going on and set up the negotiations to see how you guys move forward as a nation. Now, they're planning on adding a lot into the Greedfall 2, you know, adding a new combat style. It works a lot kind of like similar to a real-time action combat. If you've played anything like Pillars of Eternity, where you can turn off the turn-based action combat and then have it going real time and then select your moves like that. It's kind of how Greedfall 2 is going to be functioning. Now, along with that is, again, they're revamping a whole lot to this game, adding more in-depth companions for you to go with, new fighting styles, new worlds and events for you to interact with. Just seems like they're going to be bundling a whole lot into this Greedfall 2 and giving everything that they wanted to give maybe Greedfall 1 into this second one. I'm interested to see how it goes out. I might have to go back and play some Greedfall 1 just to see what it has to offer. You know what I mean? See if maybe it was just how I felt about gaming in my younger days, that I didn't really enjoy it too much, or maybe my earlier times when I was starting to get in depth with things, right? Nonetheless, Greedfall 2 is dropping on March the 12th, my friends. And following up the very next day, man, we got Monster Hunter Stories 3 Twisted Reflection coming out on March the 13th. Now, I gotta say, if you are a Monster Hunter Stories enjoyer, all the props to you, man, because I have been missing out on that series for a while now. You know, my journey started in Monster Hunter Worlds, Iceborne, transitioned into Rise, then I went over to Wilds. You know, I'm part of the new generation. I didn't really get to play, Monster Hunter X Generations or any of the previous titles. I didn't really hop on the boat that way. But I know there's a lot of people who also feel that same way about the Monster Hunter Stories. And after, checking it out a little bit more and kind of giving it its due fair share, Monster Hunter Stories kind of just seems like it's an anime version of Monster Hunter, where you get to just enjoy the story as it's being told to you, as well as a little bit of the combat in terms of it being a little bit similar to Final Fantasy, I guess, in that aspect, just because it has a party system, it's turn-based. And then I'm not 100% sure how well it goes in depth it goes with customization, but nonetheless, I'm curious. I'm really interested in the story that they're going to be telling with this third one. It seems like they're going to be having these two twin Rathalos that are born from the same egg, but where they're taking this story takes place in, it seems like no large monsters have been born in generations. So it's far past the elder dragons we're normally used to fighting in Monster Hunter World and Wild, and that's really kind of what got my interest in it. I want to see how these two Rathalos that are taken and put into different kingdoms and have riders each and of their own, which is where your character kind of takes a place in. You're one of the riders of the Rathalos in one kingdom, and then there's another king that has another rider. I want to see how these Rathalos get kind of used and how the countries treat them, especially since they're almost seen as weapons of mass destruction at this point in time, right? I'm interested to see how this unfolds. I mean, if you're a Monster Hunter Stories enjoyer, then you probably kind of see where it might be going, but nonetheless, it's piqued my interest, and I thought I'd let you guys know about it, right? It also drops on March the 13th, like I've said. I probably said that. I think I said that. Yeah, I said that. And again, about another week after that drops, we have two that are, some pretty savvy ones. We have Crimson Desert dropping on March 19th. That's another big AAA title that, I mean, if you're interested in Black Desert, if you're interested in the next big action RPG that's going to be dropping, this one looks like it's going to be it. It looks like it's going to be a banger. Huge world for you to explore, multiple characters for you to play as. a large in-depth combat system for you to really, you know, flex your stuff if they allow us to. If they have anything from Black Desert and they have any of that in-depth combat system, which of course they're going to be having because it's Pearl Abyss, and they have that and they implement that into what we're going to have in Crimson Desert, and they allow us to maybe even have a little bit of the customization in terms of the way we can mix and match our combos, that's going to be beautiful. It seems like the world that they're going to be giving us is going to be absolutely expansive. The characters that we're going to be having in our party seem like they're going to have their own combat style each and of themselves. Like the female that we seem like we would be playing as seemed like she has such an agile as well as a powerful burst combo. Then we had a big Broly dude who just seemed like he dove back and did like this shotgun blast. Seems like we're going to have a pretty cool cast to be playing as we picked him up across the world since we're going to be playing as McGruff. Now, to see if it holds true to what they're offering, yeah, we're gonna have to see. We're gonna have to see. It drops on March 19th, so we're gonna have to see. The second one dropping on March 19th, man, is Mouse PI for Hire. Man, and this one, if Crimson Desert is not up your alley and you're not trying to join the AAA bandwagon, Mouse PI for Hire looks like it's gonna be the everything that everyone wants that's outside the bubble of the Crimson Desert. You know what I mean? You want a thorough investigation game with a little bit of lore, some old throwback cartoony graphics with a black and white retro style that you can still be immersed in because it's able to switch between gameplay and cartoon artistic style beautifully. My favorite word, chef's kiss with a little bit of savvy because it's wise judgment on the way they're about to be handling it. I love it. It's looking good. All I gotta say is it looks good. Like, I'm hands down going to be getting my hands on this game, and I think personally it's probably going to be my game for the month of March outside of Slay the Spire. I'm most excited for Mouse PI for Hire. I thought I was going to be a little bit excited for Crimson Desert, but everything I've been seeing, I'm like, I don't know, it's not speaking to me. Mouse PI for Hire is speaking to me, you know what I mean? Like I said, it got the retro style graphics, got some beautiful blend of gameplay. If you like Doom, you like Bolt Gun, it probably has, though it had, not probably, does have those elements in the game for you. So I'm like, I want to see what they're really trying to offer for us, right? And that's dropping on March the 19th. So you got to choose. You either got Crimson Desert or you got Mouse PI for Hire. Now, following that all up, man, we do have an honorable mention for Sand, the Raiders of Sohpia. Now, this one, man, it seems like it's going to be a plunder survival game, similar to something like Sea of Thieves, Jump Ship, if you played any of those elements types of games, right? And those are pretty cool, you know, being able to plunder other enemies, other enemy ships or enemy vessels, and then gather those resources to bolster your forces even further. What it really reminded me of is something like Mortal Engines mixed with Sea of Thieves. If you ever seen the movie Mortal Engines, where you kind of have like the mobile land nations that go out and plunder other bases for resources and then take in their population. It's like, okay, well, now you work for us, right? Seems like they're going to have a little bit of those elements, but not necessarily you're gathering from another nation. You're just going to be gathering the resources, taking down other mobile land bases, and then essentially fortifying yours further so that you can continuously hitting that cycle, right? Seems pretty cool. Seems pretty interesting. Seems like another spin on another version of Sea of Thieves, but on the land. I'm interested. Don't have a release date on that one specifically. That's why it's on the honorable mentions, but nonetheless, does seem like it's going to be a pretty good one. All right, man, that's going to be all the games that I got for the month of March. If you got any that I am not listed on this list or you're interested in, of course, as always, my friends, let me know down below because, hey, I might have missed a few. And if I missed a few, that's cool. That's cool, but those are the ones I'm interested in, so I thought I'd share with you, right? And leave a like, of course, if you enjoyed the video, you know, because, I mean, why not? And then, of course, sub, so we can continue to share some info, because I feel like I thought we were doing a good job, right? Anyways, my friends, I hope you guys have a good day, and I'll catch you guys on the horizon. Deuces.